Alrighty, folks. It is a dreary Friday morning. As per to what I've been trying to do, temperature today is going to be 50 degrees, and gas prices are at $4.32 here at the old stop. Now, I haven't done that in a couple days, but I wanted to kind of keep a catalog of that, just for my own methodology here. But I'm going to talk today a little bit about weather. I know I talk a lot about weather here and there, but I mean, I like weather. That's how I am. Right now, we're currently at that weird spot in our day where we have a box fan in the window, but we still have our electric blanket on because it could go either direction. We could go summer, or we could go winter. That's kind of how our springs in the Midwest work, though. It's never like a nice, pleasant day. It's always either 70 degrees and hot, or 30 degrees and snowing, you know. And some days it's both, you know. They always say the adage about if you don't like the weather, wait a few minutes. Well, that's kind of how it is here, you know. The weather changes on a dime on this place, but today we got some rain, and it's awesome. And my hope is this year to potentially get out there and enjoy some of the weather. I used to take a lot of pictures, I've already mentioned that quite a few times, but I have this like GoPro. I think it might still be in my, no it's not, it's summer. Here it is, I found it. I have this new GoPro here that's really, really awesome. And you're supposed to be able to take time lapses with it and pull off like 12 megapixel stills off of the time lapse, which is what I want to do. Is I'd like to set up out in the field over here somewhere where there's nothing growing too tall with one of my magnetic clips when I know there's a storm on the way, and film a storm coming in on time lapse using a battery pack and all that happy jazz so that it stays on all the time. And if I could do that, then I would definitely get a good time lapse of like a storm coming in, and it auto corrects and all that happy jazz, which is really, really awesome. And I'd be able to get like a time lapse and then pull stills off of it. And what's really cool about that, if I have multiple lightning strikes in the same time, I can layer those images and be able to get like a really, really cool image that way. I done it once with the night time lapse. I didn't do too much of that this fall, which I was planning on going out there a couple times, but for some reason GoPro has this battery warning whenever the battery gets too cold, and I wasn't able to keep a battery in the outside for a long enough period of time for me to get a good night time lapse. Like the first night I did it, it died in 2 hours because the battery levels went the way they did. But I was able to figure that out. By leaving a moment for this thing here to be charging and then plugging it in. One really cool thing is when I plugged this thing in to charge it up, I was able to pull the battery out of it, which was the first time ever in a long time. So there must have been a firmware update somewhere where I could actually pull the battery out of the Hero 10 and it actually worked like it's supposed to. So now I can do time lapses without a battery in it, which is awesome. So I'm getting excited about that. Still no word on the old tickety talks about me getting 10-minute uploads, because I definitely would do something with the 10-minute uploads. Also got to thinking today would be a good day for testing the audio with rain, because it's raining, so you might get all that rain noise going on. Another weird thing that people think is weird about me is I use my wipers sparingly. I mean, if you look at the windshield that I'm doing now, you would see that I'm not running my wipers, and most people will have those things going right now, you know, like right in front of you. And if you're going a certain speed and your windshield is a certain way, I mean, if the windshield's been soaked by rain and it doesn't have any like way of whisking off that rain, yeah, you're gonna need to use your wipers. But I have the stuff that I put on there. It's kind of like, I can't remember what's, I think it's called frog juice or something like that. And what's really cool about it is it leaves a film on your windshield, and it's kind of like Armor All. It just kind of whisks away. And if you're going about 60 miles an hour, which is what I'm doing right here, then you only have to use that windshield wiper whenever it gets too bad on you. And most other times it just kind of bubbles up and rolls off the edge, and you can still see perfectly fine out your window. That being said, I have rambled about things. I guess today's topic's more weather. So, another topic like that. I just basically wanted to say I love storms. I'd like to get back out there and start taking pictures of storms. Getting that itch again. So, that being said, I made it to the end of my 5-minute spiel for this morning. So I'm going to leave you guys with a word. For those who do not know, I always put a word at the end of my videos. And that lets me know that, if you put that in the comments, lets me know that you made it clear to the end of my ramblings. And today's word is going to be, let's see here. I always like look for something that I can. Okay, today's word's going to be barn. So if I can have you guys put barn somewhere in the comments below, then I know you made it clear to the end of this video. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.